Hello to everyone who got to the second part of the video. Thanks to everyone who likes and subscribes to the channel. It motivates me a lot to get better. I won't detain you, let's get started. First story. In the second part from the user, Separated and Confused. Let's listen. I know the title sounds bad, and I also know that parts of this make me a bad person. However, I also think I deserve grace and understanding. Maybe I'm completely wrong though. I'm in the middle of a divorce with my 26 female husband, 29 male. The divorce happened for many reasons. I started dating my ex when I was 15 and got married at 19. I was so young and broken from childhood SA. He made me feel complete and used to say that he was the only one who could help put me back together. I believed him. I thought if I was with him, I'd be okay. That was true for the most part, but I lost a lot of my identity. I thought I was happy. But when you lose yourself in someone, you can't understand how toxic they can be, because I thought I was finally whole. Then 2020 hit. My husband's infrequent outbursts became more common as his drinking got worse. He would scream at me, tell me I was worthless and unwise, tell me I wasn't enough fun anymore, coerce me into sleep by telling me I was useless unless I put out and that he deserved it. He also hit me a few times when I got mad back or said no to sleep. He messed around with his friend's wife and his best friend's girlfriend. To be honest, I thought I deserved this behavior. I thought I deserved the abuse because I wasn't good enough. This is where the second part of my story starts. I found out about his friend's girlfriend because the friend told me. He didn't deny it. I felt broken. I resolved to stay and work it out, but I ended up close with his friend. We started hanging out, and I felt very close with him super quickly. I pumped the brakes when I thought I might have feelings and talked with my husband. He, maybe because he was drunk, maybe because he thought I wouldn't do it, gave me the go-ahead. He said he figured if he'd take it around, I could too. I enjoyed every minute with him. At first, it was purely vulgar. He was leaving a bad relationship. I was trying to learn how to ask for what I wanted. But over time, I found out how awesome he was. And little by little, my personality felt like it was coming back. One day, I decided to tell him everything he did to me. With my new confidence, I learned that I didn't deserve that behavior. He was absolutely horrified, said he figured something was up, but didn't realize to what extent. He said he would be there for me no matter what, and he was. We fell in love, and I didn't know what to do. He loves me but isn't sure if he wants to be with me because of the severe blowback he'd have personally. I ended up deciding to get divorced. Even if I couldn't have him, I knew that I couldn't be in that home. Constantly scared and freaking out, I filed, and then it was like a switch for my husband. He stopped drinking, said he would go to couples therapy, and honestly, all the abuse stopped. I felt like I was making the wrong decision, like I should stay, but I knew I could not ever go back to how it was. He asked me to stop seeing my partner. I told him I did, but I did not. I couldn't. And even though my husband was trying, I couldn't get over everything he did to me over the last 3 years. Maybe I could have if I stopped seeing my friend, but I didn't. I just knew I never wanted to go back to the potential of that. Now, I feel horrible. I still am seeing my friend. I'm still in love with him. Even with the uncertain future, I enjoy every day I get to see him. He said he feels the same. The guilt about it eats at me, but I just can't stop seeing him. In the divorce, my friends all took his side. He told them about my friend, but not about his abuse. And with him working on himself, I didn't want to tell anyone. I didn't think it was helpful. So now everyone knows about me and my friend, but everyone thinks we are not together. No one really talks to us, though my divorce should be over in December. I'm excited and ready for it all to be behind me. I won't lie though, I'm hopeful that my friend and I can be together. And if that makes me a bad person, that sucks. But I don't want to wait hoping a man can get it together. I want something great that's in front of me. And if we don't work, that's fine too. I just know I deserve better. Author update this story. My 27 female mom passed a year ago. It was known that it was a possibility, so my mom divided up her jewelry my dad had gotten her over the years to give to us if she passes. I had picked out 2 rings I had helped my dad pick out. They were not cheap, about $1,000 a piece. I got them appraised. When I left my husband, 30 male, I left pretty quickly, and with basically nothing just to get out. He kept some of my stuff, but it was in our divorce agreement that certain things were to be given to me and held in a safe deposit box until I could get them. I took basically nothing monetarily from the marriage when I left, and gave him basically everything. The divorce is now final, and I finally came back to my home state to pick up the rings. I found out that he did not put the rings in the safety deposit box, just some of my other jewelry. I confronted him about it, and I found out that not only did he not place them for safekeeping, he stored them in his new girlfriend's, 21 female apartment, who says she had them in her jewelry box for safekeeping. But she can't find them. She knew what they were according to the texts I have, and that they were not his or a gift. I talked to my divorce lawyer. He's filing a lawsuit since 1, inheritance is not marital property, and 2, my ex did not follow his end of the divorce decree. I'm asking for $25,000, the cost of the rings plus emotional damages, for the loss of the only thing I have left from my mom. I also filed a report to the police for the theft of the rings by his girlfriend. That probably won't go anywhere though, but they are investigating. Is she or he sold them? I think it's a high possibility given the value. I'm devastated by losing these. They were so special to me. He and his girlfriend are pissed at me because it's too much money that they don't have. She could get charged with theft or laundering the money from selling them for my ex. Not sure. This is mostly from my lawyer. And it's just a couple rings. Friends, my old friends who I don't speak with, have been blowing up my phone, calling me unwise, and I hurt him so much already, and to just leave it alone, that I'm getting what I deserved. I wish I could get the rings back, but I'm so upset at this and over his whole attitude about it, that I want to basically go scorched earth on them. At this point, it's not only about the sentimental value, but to give a big U after everything. AITA for seeing my ex for my rings and potentially getting his girlfriend in legal trouble. Author update the story in the second time. I posted around a week ago about my ex-husband stealing my rings. I was getting nowhere with him. The cops seemed pretty uninterested, and my lawyer said that while we had a case, it could take ages. My family went through a lot of pawn shops, but couldn't find anything. I was feeling pretty horrible about everything going on, and figured they were a lost cause, until a friend from my past messaged me on Instagram earlier this week. She never had sent me anything bad like other people. We just didn't talk. She linked a profile of my ex's new girlfriend's brother and said, "I'm not sure. His fiance's ring looks like it might be yours." This friend also lost her mother when she was younger, and said she didn't care what happened between me and my ex. But she wasn't letting some guy take that away from me. We talked for a bit, and she said she was upset when she heard about the rings being missing, and my ex had gloated saying I wasn't ever giving them back, and wanted to find them if she could. I went over to the page and sure as dumped my favorite ring, a diamond with weaving silver and rose gold diamond paved band, was prominent in his engagement photos. I then went all CIA on them, looked at every family member this girl has, and found another sister with my other ring, saying it was her purity ring gifted by her sister for her 16th birthday. I was floored and very pissed. I called into work for the rest of the week and drove back to my hometown, picked up my brother, and went to my ex's apartment. My ex answered the door, and I lied, telling him that the cops were going to arrest his girlfriend's brother and sister for theft, and he could give me those rings back in 2 days, or else. 1 day went by, no rings, so I messaged the brother's new fiancée on Instagram, showed her pictures of the ring on my hand, or on my mom's hand, and said it was stolen, and that I wanted it back. This poor girl was appalled. I honestly think she had no idea. We ended up calling each other, she apologized, and said she would talk to her fiancé. I told her that I was getting that ring back. We ended up meeting up. I showed her more proof it was mine, told her the whole story, and thank God she gave it back to me. She said she didn't like her fiancé's sister, and that she thought she was bad news, and basically stayed away from her. She said she would talk to her fiancé about why in the heel he thought getting a ring from her would be a good idea. I guess word got out, and my ex started calling me incessantly. Basically leaving messages saying he'd do anything, but don't make his girlfriend's sister give back the ring. It was embarrassing. I picked my brother back up, went back to his apartment. This time, both his girlfriend and him were there. Yelling match started. My brother had to keep me from basically clawing the eyes out of that dump. I ended up literally sitting in their entryway, saying I wasn't leaving until I got that ring, or they could call the cops to remove me, and I'd tell them about the rings. I don't know exactly what happened after that, but she left and came back with the ring after about an hour. The whole time my ex is saying my mom was basically his too, and he should have something from her, and it was only right. My brother was basically staying in between me and him, telling him to back off. When I got the second ring back, I stood up and just finally lost my years of him, and I don't think I'd ever gotten that mad before. I screamed at him, told him off, and spit on him when I left. I don't think it was the most mature response, but it felt good. I'm also surprised that he didn't get a noise complaint or cops called on us, but the apartment isn't necessarily known for being nice. As for why that woman thought it a good idea to give the rings to her family, I don't know. I'm hoping that old friend might give me some gossip, or that I might hear from the fiancé. But honestly, I'm just happy that my rings are back, and the drama is settled. I don't have to deal with them anymore. Nothing else is needed from our divorce decree. My boyfriend promised me a massage and cuddles from the cat when I get back into town. And honestly, I'm just hoping to never hear from them again. That's what I think about it. It seems like OP's ex's new young girlfriend and ex just felt entitled to the rings anyway, but knew enough not to keep them immediately available for her to get back. So they weren't really stolen, and it was all justified in their minds. It sounds like they tangled up the family purely out of selfishness, while pretending to be generous. I can only hope the brother wouldn't have accepted the ring if he knew, because that just screams cursed engagement. But hopefully, this fiancé can find out who he really is before the wedding. Let's check the user's comments and author answers. You're making a mistake by not telling your friends what's really going on. You're allowing him to trash you, and he will continue to do it. Give your friends a chance to support you, and take it from a much older sister, the working on himself thing is phony. He'd go right back to being an abusive asshole if you went back. It happens all the time. Spouse abuses other spouse, then vows to fix things when they leave. All they do is go right back when spouse is roped back in. Your new guy is a rebound. When you've been with an abuser, pretty much anyone who doesn't abuse you looks good. Been there, have the t-shirt, get divorced, and stay single while you get on your own 2 feet. Yeah, he might be a rebound, but I've been with him for a year. He's been very supportive. I'm hoping that we take some time apart and I can heal. I hot my own apartment 2 hours from my ex in a big city, able to make my own money, and it's been nice. I am so proud of you for getting out of this horrible marriage any way you can, but I want you to know this time, apart from your other guy, is a gift you absolutely must accept. I've been in these, sadly, a couple of these situations before, and I have to tell you, I do not regret the relationships so much as I regret not talk to the time to be alone for a long time. You are so brave, but you need to heal and learn to love yourself more. I can see you're already on your way, but you know, do it more. Thank you, I appreciate it. I kinda needed the permission to do just that. My friend said he will be completely understanding if that's what I choose and support it. I'm just trying to wait until I get my bearings in the new city before we part ways. He knows this, but neither of us want it. But we know I need it. And if he's still single when that happens and we hit it off again, that'd be amazing. But it will also be fine if not. I'd leave my partner if he knew that it was not his to give away, but took it anyway. Frankly, if I was OOP, I'd just go ahead and file theft charges against the sister, the girlfriend, and the ex-husband. The text messages could be entered as evidence that he never intended to hand them back. Despite the divorce agreement and the fact that the girlfriend knowingly gifted stolen goods to her relatives is enough to at least stain her with the thief label. They want to steal. They can deal with the consequences when theft charges are filed, and it would be the first thing that comes up in a background check. Can't think of places that would knowingly hire a thief, and I'd make sure the cops showed up at their work to arrest them both for theft. Theft against the ex and his girlfriend. Receiving stolen goods goes to girlfriend's sister and brother. Thank you for watching to the end. I am very grateful for your support. Thank you for that. But that's all for today. Don't forget to write comments. I read them all. I love everyone. Bye-bye.